Attention passionate Washington Commanders fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC East and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Washington Commanders' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Washington Commanders fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with YOUR, FRINDS and Washington Commanders FANS. Let's get to the news now, folks. If you've been paying close attention to what's been happening around the NFC East, especially with the Washington Commanders, you've probably noticed that this team is once again on the edge of something potentially explosive. It's that time of the year when the trade deadline looms, and every move counts. And this season, there's a lot of buzz about the Commanders trying to revamp their secondary, a unit that's been a bit of a roller coaster ride so far in 2025. Let's set the stage here. The Commanders made a pretty splashy move last season, trying to bolster their defense by acquiring Marshawn Lattimore from the New Orleans Saints. It was a move that sent shockwaves through the division, an attempt to add a seasoned, elite cornerback to their roster in hopes of making a deep playoff push. At that time, Lattimore was considered one of the top cornerbacks in the league, a four-time Pro Bowler who had shown the ability to shut down some of the best receivers in the NFL. The expectation was clear. Washington wanted a lockdown corner, someone who could elevate their secondary and give their defense that extra edge. But as many fans have already seen unfold, the story took a different turn. Since the trade, Lattimore has struggled significantly. His performance has dipped considerably, and he's been far from the player he was with the Saints. In fact, his play in 2025 has been among the worst at his position in the entire NFL. It's a disappointing development for the Commanders, who had high hopes that he'd be a cornerstone in their defense for years to come. Instead, he's been a shadow of his former self, and that has prompted many to question whether the team should double down on trying to fix their secondary through the trade market again this season. Now, this brings us to the intriguing possibility of another big move, one that could reshape the entire division. Bleacher Report's Alex K. has been discussing the potential for the Commanders to target Woolen from the Seattle Seahawks. If you aren't familiar with Woolen, let me tell you, he's a fascinating player. At just 26 years old, Woolen is one of the biggest cornerbacks in the NFL, standing at 6'4" and weighing around 210 pounds. He's a prototypical physical specimen, and his story is quite remarkable. Drafted in the 5th round out of UTSA back in 2022, Woolen was once considered a project. But his combine numbers blew everyone away, running a 4.26-second 40-yard dash, which was the third fastest in NFL combine history and the fastest over 6 feet tall. That, coupled with a 42-inch vertical leap, instantly put him on the map. He was a steal in the draft, and as a rookie, Woolen didn't just impress, he exploded onto the scene. He made the Pro Bowl, led the league with 6 interceptions, and started all 17 regular season games. His impact was immediate, and he proved that he belonged among the NFL's elite. Now, fast forward a bit, and it's clear that Woolen's role with the Seahawks has diminished in 2025, partly due to the team's draft picks and changes in their defensive scheme. Despite that, his numbers are still respectable. He's allowing a completion rate of just 61%. 1% in coverage, which is quite decent considering the NFL's standards. For a player with his size and ball skills, that's a solid stat line at this stage of his career. What makes Woolen a compelling target for the Commanders? Well, first, the Seahawks might be open to moving him. Why? Because he's in a contract year, and his playing time has decreased compared to his rookie season. With the Seahawks drafting Illinois star Devin Witherspoon at number 5 overall in 2023, Woolen has found himself behind a rising star. That's a key detail because, in the NFL, when a team invests a high draft pick in a cornerback like Witherspoon, it often signals a shift in the depth chart, especially if the veteran's role diminishes. And here's where the trade possibilities get interesting. According to reports from NFL insiders, Seattle might be willing to listen to offers for Woolen, especially since he's on a 4-year, $3.99 million contract, an affordable deal for a player of his caliber, at least for now. The Commanders, looking to bolster their secondary, could pounce. Alex K. suggests that the Commanders might be able to acquire Woolen with a draft pick, perhaps a sixth rounder in 2026, and a seventh rounder in 2027. Although, some analysts say that maybe just offering the 2026 sixth round pick might be enough to test the waters with Seattle. Now, imagine that for a second, adding Woolen to the secondary. It would be a game changer. Woolen's size, speed, and ball skills could dramatically improve Washington's coverage, which has been somewhat inconsistent this season. His ability to match up with the league's best receivers and his knack for creating turnovers could be the missing piece that turns a decent defense into a truly elite unit. Plus, his age, only 26, means he's still got plenty of prime years ahead of him. It's a low-risk, potentially high-reward move that could make all the difference in a tight NFC playoff race. But let's not forget the context here. The Seahawks are in a rebuild mode in some ways, and with Devin Witherspoon already showing he's a star in the making, Woolen's role might continue to shrink unless they see a valuable return that helps them now. The Seahawks have shown they're not afraid to make bold moves, and if the price is right, Woolen could be headed south to Washington. This would be a significant upgrade for the Commanders, especially considering their struggles in coverage this season. Meanwhile, the team's current cornerback situation is a mixed bag. Marshawn Lattimore, their marquee signing last year, has been a huge disappointment in 2025. After only playing 2 games due to injury and then struggling in the games he's played, he's not living up to the expectations. According to Pro Football Focus, Lattimore's grade so far this season is 44. Ranking him 144th out of 164 eligible cornerbacks. That's a stark contrast to his previous reputation, and it's clear that if Washington wants to make a serious push, they need to consider adding a player like Woolen, someone who can lock down a side of the field consistently. And speaking of Lattimore, it's worth noting that he didn't even have another game after those initial 2 in 2025. His hamstring injury kept him sidelined, and although he was solid in the postseason run that saw Washington reach the NFC Championship game, his performance in the early part of this season has been troubling. As we see him struggle through 4 games, it's obvious that he's not the same player, and that raises questions about his future with the team. In NFL terms, when a player in his prime is performing this poorly, teams tend to look for solutions, and Woolen's name naturally comes up as a potential upgrade. Now, let's zoom out a bit and talk about the bigger picture. Washington has been a team on the rise, no doubt about it. Their defense has shown flashes of brilliance, but consistency remains an issue. Improving their secondary is paramount if they want to make a real splash in the playoffs. Woolen's ability to cover and create turnovers could be precisely what they need to take that next step. And with the NFC East so competitive, every game counts. The Eagles, Cowboys, and Giants are all formidable opponents, and having a lockdown corner like Woolen could be the difference in those tight matchups. Plus, the NFL is constantly evolving, and the teams that adapt quickly are the ones that come out on top. Washington's front office has a history of smart moves, and if they can land Woolen, it might be considered one of their best trades in recent years. It's all about timing and value, and right now, Woolen's situation makes him an attractive target. The Seahawks might be motivated to deal him, especially if they believe they can get a good return and continue their rebuild with younger talents. And let's not forget that Woolen's size and athleticism are rare in the league. His ability to match up with the league's top receivers, combined with his ball skills, makes him a true difference maker. If he joins Washington, he would immediately become a key piece of their defense, providing stability and playmaking ability. The secondary could transform from a weakness into a real strength, giving the team confidence to take more risks on the back end. So, as we look ahead to the trade deadline, the potential for the Commanders to make another bold move is very real. They've already shown they're not afraid to swing for the fences, and acquiring Woolen could be the move that pushes them over the top. With the right pieces in place, Washington's defense could be among the top units in the league, and that's exactly what they need if they're serious about making a deep playoff run this season. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest Washington Commanders news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. Now fans, I want to know what you think. Do you believe that adding Rick Woolen is the right move for Washington? Could he be the piece that finally elevates this team into serious playoff contenders? Or do you think they should focus on other areas of the roster? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion really matters to us, and more importantly, to the team itself. Remember, trades like this are not just about one player. They are about shaping the future of this franchise. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, analysis, and deep dives into everything Washington Commanders. Stay tuned, stay passionate, and let's keep this conversation going. The NFL season is full of surprises, and with the trade deadline approaching, the Commanders could be on the verge of making one of the most exciting moves of the year. So keep your eyes peeled, stay engaged, and as always, thank you for being part of this journey with us. This is your source for all the latest news, insights, and everything Washington Commanders. Until next time,